you got to figure scientists, PhD level scientists, do they want to be there studying some lady whose groceries went back in the bag or his hairbrush is missing from the bathroom? Poltergeist type effects, Bigfoot creatures, which were seen on the property, strange animals, animal mutilations. It was as if every kind of paranormal, supernatural weirdness stuff that you can think of was all in one place. A couple of things that happened on the property later caught the attention of the US government. The rancher saw, for example, a couple of times a hole in the sky would appear. Here, it's dusk. On the other side of that hole, it's afternoon, and he'd see things coming in and out. It's like another reality was there. And the NIDS guys were there on the property. It's night in the middle homestead. Two scientists are on the ground. Two other guys are up on top of the ridge with infrared. They're looking down in the middle homestead, and they warned the two guys through a walkie-talkie, hey, there's something in front of you, there's a light. There's a fuzzy snowball that's floating just like 2 feet off the ground. It's right in front of you. The guys with the infrared said, this light is getting bigger, and it gets big. It gets like 8 or 9 feet long, and it's a tunnel, and they said something is coming through the tunnel. It was like this big, dark, humanoid creature was crawling through this tunnel. And it climbed out and stood up. It's like 8 feet tall. When it climbed out, the tunnel collapsed back into a snowball. This thing starts heading up the hill with these guys are up there, and they got the hell out of there. That caught the attention of the US government later. There was another one where a PhD physicist that we know and a PhD biologist are walking in the middle homestead. They had a couple of dogs. They would use dogs as like biosensors, because the dogs could sense things, sense something was amiss before the humans would notice it. Dogs suddenly get behind their legs and are hiding and are scared by something, and they look up in the trees or the tops of trees, and this big black cloud thing was moving, and it got a little bit bigger, and they're watching it, and suddenly the physicist freezes, and a voice comes out of him that's not his, and it's like, we're watching you. Whatever this intelligence is, it does not like being hunted, so it becomes more elusive. It goes underground. The number of incidents start declining. The rancher had lost a bunch of cattle, and there came a time when the animals on the property were all scared. They're hiding. The dogs wouldn't come out. Everything was quiet, and they knew something was up. The rancher was determined he's not going to lose another cow or a bull. They hear a noise. It's at night. He jumps in his truck, grabs his rifle, and goes peeling off. Two NIDS guys go after him. Jumps out of the truck, there's this tree, and at the bottom of this tree is this big round thing, like a big fat beach ball of a bear at the bottom, and then up in the tree are two giant eyeballs, two big yellow eyeballs, like this big, like reptilian eyeballs. Rancher takes a shot at the thing at the bottom of the tree, boom, hits it, poof, it goes away. Then he starts shooting at the thing in the tree, and he hits that. And something falls out of the tree, and it left a track. And it's like a giant raptor, dinosaur or bird or something. They used Skinwalker Ranch as a living laboratory.
I come down against the extraterrestrial hypothesis, not because the events don't happen, but because that explanation is just too simple. Looking at ultra-terrestrials, where do they come from? There have been reports of interactions between humans and sentient non-humans throughout the entirety of human history and in every culture. But they happen to fly in little tin cans is a fairly new wrinkle to that. The possibility we're talking interdimensional, that something is close and come in, temporal, i.e. shifts in time is available, spiritual, in all spiritual doctrines you hear about entities. We spent billions and billions of dollars looking for the God particle. The assumption is that we can get down to some fundamental particle that becomes the building block for everything after that, as opposed to consciousness. Consciousness is fundamental. You can't get beyond or below consciousness. This also applies to Skinwalker Ranch and what Brandon Fugel just gave a long thing. And he says, with all the things that are happening there, they believe that there is some form of attempt at communication. We just certainly don't understand it.
It seems like the lessons from Skinwalker, some of the other kinds of research that are going on, are telling us that they're somehow all related. Consciousness seems to be the common denominator for all that. And I think that's where this topic is headed.